Since we uploaded the video about the Dark Ages and the video about Middle Ages, a lot of you commented that what happened to Europe, that it went from the Dark Ages into an advanced part of the world. Because before that, they were in a very bad situation. You guys seen our video about Leonardo Da Vinci as well. He just wanted to succeed in what he's doing. We could say Leonardo Da Vinci is one of the first people in Europe that wanted change. Europe that was in the Dark Ages with a bunch of diseases. What happened to it that it actually became a civilized place? This was such an important time that they named it Renaissance. And this word in French means rebirth. Struggling in Europe was a normal thing. After the Roman Empire collapsed, the Dark Ages start, and it won't end until the Renaissance. Don't think the Renaissance happened in a few years or 10 years. It took hundreds of years for this change to happen. You guys know the Roman Empire. The Western civilization was in their hands. In the year around 400, this empire splits into two, and one is Western Empire and Eastern Empire. This collapse, not only did it destroy the empire, but it took a reverse gear and just went all the way backwards. And it went to one of the most civilized places in the world to one of the darkest places in the world. One of the biggest issues for the people at that time was safety and food. In the past videos, we explained how bad it was. Whoever had more power was the leader, and there was no real rules set in stone. When the Roman Empire collapses, day by day it gets worse. They say the Dark Ages started from Florence, and it extended to the entire continent. And the interesting part is that Renaissance also started in Florence. In the 15th century, the business hotspot of Europe was in Florence, and it was the richest place in Europe. They create a coin and spread it around as currency, and the name of the money was florin. You might not believe it, but in the Middle East, where was tens of times the money of Europe, Europe for hundreds of years didn't have any type of currency until the florin hit the market. This money caused Florence to be the richest place in Europe, and a lot of businessmen came to Florence because of that. You could see from the paintings that after hundreds of years of Dark Ages, there was some happiness in Europe. Because before this, all the paintings you would see from Europe involved something dark, sadness, or a type of struggle. After this, you see happier painting, and that alone shows Europe is going through a change. Florence is not the only place that happens, and after that, the place that goes from Dark Ages to happy is the Netherlands, because you can also see it from the paintings they drawn that happiness is coming back. We're in the 15th century, and one of the most famous people from that era is Leonardo Da Vinci, and we recently made a video about it. Just like we said in that video, this guy was a master engineer, a painter, and most importantly, he was a scientist. Paintings, drawings, and designs caused the Renaissance to speed up in Europe. In that era where the Renaissance has started in Europe and is going through a positive change, the printing press is invented. If Europe was gonna succeed slowly, this printing press sped up the success by a few times. Because printing different types of books throughout Europe caused people to be more educated. After the 15th century, when Europe was looking a little better, they started to hit the sea. And different sailors went around the world. And one of the most famous ones is Christopher Columbus. And he landed in the Bahamas in 1492. Florence was succeeding, and that's until 1499, France attacked Italy. And we explained that in the Da Vinci video, where they destroyed the biggest whole sculpture by Da Vinci. And the French also steal a lot of the drawings and paintings of the Italians, which they are there to this day. We are in the year 1509, where Europe is looking better and better, but the church still has the main power. That same year, Henry VIII becomes King of England, and we have a video about him, the king that executed his wives. Henry VIII wanted to divorce his wife, but since it was the Catholic Church, he couldn't divorce his wife. But he really wanted to divorce his first wife, and that is why he took England out of the Catholic Church and he made it Protestant. With that religion, he easily divorced his wife. What Henry VIII did is basically make the Catholic religion into different pieces. And that is why the religion got weaker. After what Henry VIII did, the Christian religion kind of lost its power. And Henry VIII's government knew everything was important except religion. They promoted people to learn literature, philosophy, and different types of sciences. And before Henry VIII, the Catholic religion was the main thing, and the thing they learned was all about religion. After this, England begins to shine throughout Europe, and it takes the power away from Florence. England begins to advance, and Europe follows along. But what made Europe really become advanced is the French Revolution. Before that, in France, church had all the power. But after the French Revolution, the government separated from the church, and that alone made Europe even more advanced. And they went from a dark continent into one of the most advanced places in the world. This was the Renaissance in simple terms, which took hundreds of years. What do you guys think? Please comment.